putting this rugged EDU Chromebook through some serious abuse today to see if it can survive. And then we're gonna chuck it off the roof.
Let's do it! 3, 2, 1.
Oh!
Oh my God!
I told you!
Oh my God!
All right, so a quick setup on how we're going to go about doing this. We're going to do a handful of tests on this Chromebook that it is advertised to be ready to deal with. And so this is the HP Chromebook 11 MKEE G9. None of that really matters. It's one of these, mil spec, student ready, classroom ready Chromebooks that has a bumper around the edge and all that kind of stuff. This thing is made and created to be able to withstand the rigors of classroom use. So we're not going to go too far outside of that for most of these tests, save for that last one. But what we want to do is put it through each of these tests. So we're gonna peel on the keycaps a little bit. We're going to test the hinges and just yanking it up off the desk. We're going to do a drop test on this. We're going to do a spill test on this. And these are all things that can happen in a classroom. And after each test, we want to verify, is this Chromebook still functioning? And what does that mean exactly? It simply means, is this Chromebook still able to be used as a Chromebook? And yeah, at the end, we may have to plug in an external keyboard or an external mouse or maybe even an external, monitor and camera on this thing. But if it still functions, if it can still do some computing, we're going to call that a success. So with all that in mind, let's get started. But before we do that, a quick shout out to Visor for sponsoring this video.
Do you manage your school district's Chromebooks? If you're tasked with keeping track of Chromebook repairs, loaners, swap outs, and warranties, you need Visor. Visor is a cloud-based Chromebook management solution designed specifically for school districts. Visor seamlessly integrates with the Google Admin Console and your student information systems, simplifying Chromebook one-to-one programs. With Visor, you can easily see which student has which Chromebook, manage repairs, and even remotely disable lost or stolen devices while notifying parents all in one click.
To find out more and to lock in a 20% discount, head over to visor.cloud/unbox or just click the link in the description. All right, first test, we're going to start with the simplest of them, which is the keycap durability here. And so these are called anchored or skirted keycaps, and we've seen this on EDU Chromebooks for a little while. The idea being you can't scrape and peel up these keys because apparently that's something that gets done a lot in the classroom. So I'm just going to give it a test first with my own hands. So I'm actually going to, I'm really want to get one of these bad boys out of here. Okay, I'm not going to break my nail doing this. So yeah, you can't peel those things up. But what if the student has some sort of apparatus? This is a butter knife. Hopefully they don't have any kind of knives in the classroom, but a pencil, a screwdriver, who knows? A ruler, the end of a ruler, something that's kind of blunt but thin like this. Surely I can get these keys up with one of these. So let's see. I'm going to take out the this bracket key right here. Look at it. Okay, well, I'm scratching it up really good, but that keycap is not coming off there. Oh, starting to get to move. Okay, with a lot of work and a blunt object, I got the top of the keycap to come off there. Now, let's see if it's still working. And click up here into this. No, get up there. Key still works. It's definitely not working there anymore. So it looks like with a blunt object, we can definitely get that key off of there. It doesn't mean it's not working anymore. The key still actually functions. Chromebook obviously still functions. If some of the keys come off of here, that's part of it. So with enough force in some sort of object, I think we can get the keys off of here. With your hands, you're gonna have a really, really hard time peeling these keys off. So in a classroom, I think this holds up. All right, so next test is the hinge test. So in classrooms, Chromebooks get handled in ways that they probably wouldn't in, say, an office. So for you and me, adults a lot of times will close up their Chromebook and pick it up and walk away with it. But from studies where HP, Acer, Asus have gone into classrooms and actually observed the way students deal with these things. It's nothing for a student to grab the edge of the Chromebook and just rip it up off the table. And you can see how the hinge kind of dealt with that as I picked it up. It just kind of absorbed that initial shock. That's by design. They do that on purpose. It's the whole reason the whole 180-degree hinge is there. So, you know, it's handling this just fine. Obviously, there's no problems here with me picking it up. But then they reinforce these hinges as well. And we've seen this from Chromebooks for the last couple years, but I can grab this Chromebook by the corner, and as gut-wrenching as it is to hold a device like this by its screen, they're built to do this. And so, yeah, there's a little bit of bleed on the LCD screen there from what I just did, but it goes away, and it's not bent or cracked or any of that kind of stuff. It is built 100% to be picked up and then carried around the classroom and slap back on the table. These things are built to handle this kind of stuff. So whereas we did eventually get the key off of there's no problem in picking these Chromebooks up and handling them not delicately. And that's a really cool thing to see from an engineering standpoint. They're not always the most attractive Chromebooks in the world, but there's a reason for it. There's lots of extra support and hinges and all that kind of stuff in there that allow you to do stuff like this with a Chromebook. So definitely passes that test. For the next one, we're going to get a little bit more extreme. So we're going to start talking about water here. And a lot of Chromebooks in this kind of space are rated for different levels of spillage on both the keyboard and the trackpad. And this one's rated up for 12 ounces. So I've got roughly 12 ounces of water here, maybe about 10. We want to make as less of a mess as we can here because this is just going to go all over the place. But I'm just going to pour this on here and we're going to see what happens. Oh, I'm spilling. I spilled. Oh, that went on the floor. And you can see it beating up around the keys. It is not penetrating those keys because the protection of these keys is not in the keycaps. Underneath here, you can see where it's kind of sealed between here and the processor. And as we dump that 10 ounces of water off, let me check. Trackpad. Trackpad's going to be a little jittery until we dry it off because it's capacitive and that means electricity, and so the water is going to get in the way of that. But that works just fine. And get up here to the using a trackpad that's wet is difficult. And we're going to make sure, yep, everything's typing just fine. We'll run a Google search for that mess of letters there. You can see the Chromebook's working just fine. So I've just dumped 2/3 of a huge glass of water on this Chromebook, literally right on the keyboard. Every bit of the water went on it, and no worse for wear. All right, for the next test, this is the drop test portion, and we got this all kind of cleaned up. It's still a little bit wet in here, but we're actually going to just shove this right off the side of the desk. This desk isn't quite 4 foot. This thing is rated for a 4-foot drop onto hardwood. We do have hardwood. We got close to 4 foot here, so I'm just going to shove it off the edge, and we'll see what happens. All right, so it's down on the ground. Let's see what happened. And as I kind of expected with the bumpers and the way this thing's built, no worse for wear here. I did dry off the trackpad so it works. Everything's going here. I'm going to scroll up and down this page, do a little multitasking, wipe a little water off. She's still working just fine. And as an addendum to the drop test, yeah, it's going to be pushed off desks and stuff, and that's probably most likely where we're going to see drops for Chromebooks, but sometimes you're going to be walking it up to the class or something, or to the front of the class and go to hand it off or something like that, and there's a fumble and a drop. So let's just do that. So I'm walking. Oh man, that went face down. Let's see. Frame is all intact, and we can still multitask just fine. Things are still rolling, so still passes the test. And finally, the type of drop that could happen quite a bit is with the Chromebook closed up and you're walking between classes or just leaving class or going to put it in your book bag or something like that, and it actually drops on one of these corners with it actually closed up. So imagine you're walking around 4 foot height, which is going to be as tall as any student's probably ever going to carry this Chromebook, and we drop it. Oops. Let's see. Now you heard it click right there. So the frame is also made to be kind of just like clipped back together whenever something goes wrong. So I'll kind of give it a feel here. It actually came up with a black screen when I first opened it up, but I forgot it was closed. So it was asleep. We'll see. Scrolling still works. Multitasking still works. Chromebook still works. So that takes us through all of the tests that this Chromebook is advertised to actually be able to withstand. It dealt with the KEYCAP stuff, it deals with the hinge yanking, it deals with drop tests and water and all that kind of stuff, and I think it passed with flying colors. And the purpose of this video is to show you all that when manufacturers say that these Chromebooks can do this, they actually can do this. But we figured why not take this to the next level and show you that even though these Chromebooks are able to withstand a lot of abuse, they're probably not exactly indestructible. So we're ready to take this to the next level.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so we have ventured up to the roof. It is the time of judgment for this little Chromebook. So what's gonna happen here is we're gonna head down and actually catch it all from the ground and let Joe be the official dropper of said Chromebook.
This is kind of scary. We're kind of high up.
It is, like we got up here, we're like, it's a little taller than we thought it was.
Yeah.
Probably gonna demolish the Chromebook, but again, I want to point out, like, this is not what HP or any other Chromebook maker advertises their Chromebook can withstand, but we've done all the regular stuff. So we're gonna prove to you that just because it's really durable, it's not invincible. We don't think. Who knows?
Let's see.
Yeah. All right, the time has come. We are all set. We are ready to go. The scene is cleared. We have some extra cameras going. Joe, you ready?
I'm ready. I'm super nervous.
Joe's nervous. I made him do this, so if anything goes wrong, we can just pin it on him. So without any further ado, let's see what happens to the Chromebook from at least 2 stories, 2.5, something like that.
I feel like it doesn't stand a chance, but I don't know.
My odds are on the Chromebook, baby. Let's go.
Maybe it's gonna work. All right, is everybody ready?
Let's go. Let's
All right,
do
we're
it.
doing it. We're doing it. We ready?
Here we go.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Oh!
Oh my God!
I told you!
Oh my God! Oh my God!
I told you!
Dude, check the screen. Check the screen. That is literally insane. Is it just the hinge? Please power on, dude.
Oh, the screen's busted. The screen is busted.
Oh, man.
All right, so after the drop, we lost this back piece, which is kind of like part of the hinge or something.
Yeah.
And the chassis all stayed together. Like the keys are all still here.
It's all
the
there.
trackpad kind of is working. But we did, you can see the LCD is kind of coming on here. I plugged it into an external monitor, no dice. So at this point, this Chromebook is no longer functional. But I am interested to see how much more damage the chassis can withstand. So I think what we're gonna do is take it up for one more ride and actually have it dropped like this. Again, none of this is real world, and we've shown you already this thing's not indestructible, but you know, let's have some fun.
Let's do it. I'll head up.
All right, so this is kind of off the cuff, but we are going for this final drop. So Joe's got it wide open. He's gonna attempt to kind of drop it on its edge this time around. Let's just see if the chassis holds up to this sort of abuse. You good?
I guess I'm ready. If it survives this, I'm gonna be so impressed. All right, everybody rolling. Camera's good? Okay, all right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Still!
I don't know how to destroy this Chromebook.
So after the second attempt, we didn't really get the explosion we thought we were gonna get.
Hit the ground and obliterate. And
tons of pieces.
It didn't do that.
No, it kind of flew like a kite.
Yeah.
And hit the ground.
Hit the ground.
But you know, we did the work here. I want to see. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to pull that apart without probably hurting myself. But you can actually see some of the metal frame in there, the framing that goes up the sides. That when we did that earlier test where you hold it here, I mean, it's still holding up. That's how it can hold itself up that way, which is pretty wild. But yeah, this Chromebook is obviously toast. But again, I can't reiterate this enough. We didn't just destroy this Chromebook to just destroy a Chromebook. I hope that you saw in the midst of this that these things can withstand a lot. Like, they're not making stuff up. These can actually withstand all kinds of abuse, but they are not invincible. So if you're buying these for a school or you're buying one for your kid, yeah, it's good to buy these. They're going to be able to handle all the drops and the spills and all that stuff. But at the same time, you still want to treat it like a laptop. Like, it's not invincible. But That's it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, head down there, hit the subscribe button, and make sure to ring the notification icon as well if you'd like to be alerted when we make other videos. Maybe not quite like this one. Till next time, we'll see you.